We recently discussed the monsters of the Ukraine, and I had many folks asking questions about more of the Slavic monsters. So let's go ahead and venture into the frozen wilds of Russia for another 5 terrifying monsters of the Slavic people. Welcome back, wayward adventurers and story seekers. I am Castle, and this is the Tavern of the Black Dragon, and here we talk about myth and lore and tales of yore. And today I am bringing you another 5 monsters from Slavic mythology, starting with one that is my personal favourite, the Chort. Now, the Chort is a horned, goat-like creature that is said to bring misfortune to anyone who has the misfortune of running across him, and it is also said that he'll just destroy your property for no reason at all, because he's a goddamn vandal. And there are many who believe that he is the inspiration for the archetype of what we believe the Christian devil, what we believe Satan looks like with the horns and the goat legs and all. But many of you may be excited to know that this is one of the many Slavic creatures that finds its way into The Witcher, although it only appears, I believe, in the 3rd Witcher game. And the Chort is also a swear word. Chort means like damn. It's like saying God damn it, you'd say Chort. And yeah, that's it. Let's move on to number 4. Next up we have the Book of Arca. And the Book of Arca is a particularly popular, well, I don't know if popular, but prominent monster amongst the Serbs in Serbia, southern Slavic people. Now it is very similar to another creature called the Drekavac. And very much like the Druklavac, the Buklavac loves to yell loudly, ear-piercing screeches, but the difference is that the Buklavac lives in swampy and moist areas. It lives in sort of the dark and dank places you'd find mushrooms and emo kids, is basically where you're gonna find the Buklavac. It has 6 legs, slimy skin, sometimes said to have rotting fish and moss and leaves falling off of it. It has a long tail and sharp curved horns that stick out from the side of its head, and it loves to pull people into rivers and drown them. And in the 1900s, many locals in northern Serbia reported seeing the Buklavac, and it would drag people deep into its lair, deep in the night, during the highest hours of midnight. So if you're ever near a river in northern Serbia in the middle of the night, avoid rivers. That would be my advice to you adventure seekers. As for my next advice, I would advise you stick around for number 3, because you never know when she could strike. The Shuma, or Chuma, is the representation of the Black Death. And it was said that she was an ugly, hideous and terrifying old hag with a deep screeching laugh. With huge eyes and messy hair, she would descend from the attic or the chimney late in the night, like an Edgar Allan Poe version of Santa Claus, carrying a filthy bowl full of black arrows. And she would bestow the Black Death upon any unfortunate enough to be scratched by her nails. Now, like most of us in the modern day, people tended to do their dishes before they went to bed, and many a time they would wake up with a fever. And if you had accidentally cut yourself in filthy water, especially in the time when the Chuma was at the height of her influence, you might end up waking up sick. So, was it indeed filthy dishwater? Or did the Lovecraftian Santa Claus of the Chuma come down and gift people with death? All I have to say is that if you didn't have a complex around doing your dishes, you might want to think about it now. And what you might also want to think about is what you could learn from our monster at number 2. Because the Thegamayon brings with her prophecy. The Thegamayon is a gigantic, dragon-sized bird with the head and hair of a beautiful woman, and she brought all prophecy along with her. It was said that she knew all. Being the harbinger of the god Velis, she carried the knowledge of creation and sky and heroes and death, and she carried that prophecy to all, and she was not necessarily evil as much as she was terribly destructive, for if she flew from the east and carried prophecy with her, she would also bring with her great and terrible storms. So if ever you hear the voice of the Velis, the siren-like song of the future, maybe there's a storm headed your way, and maybe that storm will be to your benefit, getting rid of the number one monster on this list, the Nav, or Navi. This one gives me the creeps. Now the Nav or the Navi were sometimes considered to be guardian spirits. They were said to be the spirits of unbaptized babies who had died, and they were reborn as these blackbirds and crows with babies' heads, and all depictions of these throughout all of Slavic lore are absolutely creepy and terrifying, and I do not like them. They give me the willies. But it is also said that they are the very embodiment of death. They are an extension of death's hands, and that the very touch of one of these little baby-headed blackbirds could send you to your maker and have you having tea with grandma by the time its little talon touched your toe. And because of their absolute horrifying visage and the power that they allegedly held, these monsters are my number one most terrifying from the frozen wilds of Russia. And as a side note, to make them even more terrifying, they had a habit of attacking and carrying off or killing cattle, stealing milk and attacking pregnant women, because everything in history that's ever attacked a pregnant woman was absolutely the most endearing creature and was in no way more terrifying than just regular monsters. Which country or culture's mythology would you like to see monsters or creatures from next? Please do let me know down in the kilt section below. And I bid thee stay bloodthirsty, my friends, and remember, all hail the black dragons. I'll see you the next time you come in. Goodbye, my friend.